What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, check this out. I was watching a video of Clareesa Shields, and I started to let the video play because she did a breakdown. I might just do that later and then continue this conversation a little more in depth about Savannah Marshall and her opponents, because I'm aware of some of these things to where it's like, let's look at what we know. I keep hearing people say Clareesa Shields, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, okay? And that, like I said, opinions don't bother me, all right? Is, for me, I just feel like, for one, I'm not going to argue points with people. Your opinion is your opinion, mine is mine. But people are such hypocrites that it's like, when people talk or they type things, I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? Are you listening to yourself? Okay. First thing that, one thing people always say, I look at, like, when, for example, when people was comparing Clareesa Shields to Layla Ali, I said, they said that, Clareesa Shields ain't fighting nobody. What the fuck you mean she's not fighting anybody? She's fighting who's out there. She's collecting belts and doing what, no other female is doing. Now, they always want to find somebody, and I tell people this: you can support your countrymen, you can support people from your state, from your city, it don't make a difference. I don't care about that, because regardless to who I want to see win, I'm not going to just say you're going to win because of anything outside of me feeling like you have the ability to win, okay? And when people want to compare, this is what I say, all right? You can compare a person, like people compare LeBron to Jordan. They compared Kobe to Jordan. Why is everybody always being compared to Jordan? You understand what I'm saying? Because when you start to accomplish things, somebody want to be able to say, he is better than this person now. She's better than that person now. My thing is, the way you can tell who's better is when you fight each other. People hated Floyd Mayweather so much that even though he beat Pacquiao, you got people like Max Kellerman saying Pacquiao is greater than Floyd because he's accomplished more. Okay, he accomplished more, but he couldn't beat Floyd when they fought each other. And then his excuses, but Pacquiao's really a lightweight. Well, wasn't Floyd a lightweight as well? It's always something to try to just change. And well, if you look now, if Pacquiao beats Keith Thurman, he's greater than Floyd. If he beats Terrence Crawford, he's better than Floyd. No, it just means you could be Keith Thurman. That's all that shit means. Doesn't mean you're greater than he. Look, because Pacquiao beats Thurman, does that mean Thurman could beat Floyd? So what are you saying? It's just like it's like the Houston Rockets winning their 2 championships after Jordan left. And the Bulls didn't have Jordan for those 2 seasons. And he came back late that last season, but what happened when he got back in full form? 3-peat again. So to say that someone is greater, you're saying he had more success. So I go back to the Marvin Hagler narrative, right? Marvin Hagler fought at middleweight his whole career as a pro. So if you're going to talk about accomplishments, how can you say that Marvin Hagler is a greater prize fighter than Floyd or Ray Leonard when Ray Leonard beat him? But then at the same time, Ray Leonard won titles in more divisions. But yet, Marv had a greater career. It's like you guys pick and choose, but you're doing it out of favoritism. Now, back to Clareesa Shields and Savannah Marshall. People said she didn't fight anybody. Clareesa Shields I'm talking about, when they was comparing her to Layla Ali. And I'm saying, wait a minute. Who did Layla fight that you guys approved of? Because when Layla was fighting, you guys was criticizing her, saying there's nobody there, she ain't fighting anybody. Now all of a sudden, Christy Martin and all these other people that she beat, Frazier's daughter and whoever, it's like now all of a sudden they're great fighters. Like, stop the hate and stop the childishness and just dig into this, okay? Clareesa Shields broke down Savannah Marshall's opponents. Savannah Marshall had a couple of opponents that was 1 week's notice. She fought some very weak opposition. Okay? The only fighter she fought that was undefeated was like 9-0. Okay, cool. Savannah Marshall, I watched her fight and I'm like, she's pretty scrappy. She's good. There's nothing about Savannah Marshall that makes me feel like she can beat Clareesa Shields. So my thing is, I'm not with arguing the point. Let's just see the fight. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, right? Hopefully there's no shady business with the referees, anything. Honestly, I think, and listen, okay? This is not a situation of a fighter who's like kind of unknown. We don't know what this person has. I've seen them both fight. Personally, I think Clareesa Shields will beat the brakes off Savannah Marshall. Now, when they fight, okay, if the fight happens, hopefully it does. Don't start saying shit like, oh, Clareesa Shields is really too big for her. Oh, well, you know what? It's because of this. Oh, well, Clareesa got more experience. Don't make excuses. Because if Clareesa was to lose that fight, I would go, hey, hats off to Savannah Marshall. She did it. That's what I would say. I wouldn't sit here and make up excuses. And a lot of people do this bull crap because it's like you talk so strongly about who's going to win and this person's going to do this person's going to do that. And then when it doesn't happen, you can't be man enough or woman enough to just say, you know what? She won. She did what she had to do. It's excuses. If she'd have had more time to prepare. Oh, if they would have had different gloves. Oh, I think her shoes were too small. Oh, they should have had a bigger ring. Oh, well, okay. She just beat a woman who hasn't fought in damn near 2 years. Okay? In damn near 2 years. What's the excuse? Okay? What's the excuse going to be? They fight and Clareesa beats her. And not just beat her, but beat her convincingly. What's the excuse going to be? And this is the thing. I don't care what the excuse is. Those excuses don't bother me personally. And basically, a lot of people, like for example, now we're supposed to be. Well, you know what? I'll say that for another video. You know, listen. I want to see the fight, and basically, I don't see this as being no damn super fight. I think that people are hyping up Savannah Marshall, they getting behind her, and that's fine. You want to see her win, cool. I think she's a good fighter, like I said, but I don't think she's on Clareesa's level. And when Clareesa broke down, now, of course, as a fighter, you're going to be confident. You should be confident, but there's also a situation where other people try to use a fighter's name and make the comparison so the public will start talking. So Eddie Hearn is saying that, oh, you know, he's pumping up Savannah Marshall. That's all good. Listen. It doesn't make a difference what Eddie Hearn says. What makes a difference is what is going to happen in the ring. If that fight happens, I'm putting money on that fight. Just to let you guys know. I only put money on a fight when I'm confident. And hey, it could backfire. You know, I'll be good. You know, it's not like I'm going to sit there and put my house up or put my house up, you know, on a bet. But I'm saying at the end of the day, I'm that confident. I don't see anything in Savannah Marshall that makes me feel like she has anything for Clareesa Shields. Nothing. And I think people just have a hard time swallowing that because for some reason, it's like people just hate to see Clareesa Shields win. Every time Clareesa Shields shut people's mouth up, it's like somebody's going, oh, but she won't beat her. Clareesa beat that fighter. Oh, but she won't beat her. She beats that fighter. Oh, she won't beat her. Okay, whatever. Here's how this works, though. It's not about arguing who's going to win. I don't do that. Y'all can have that nonsense. I'm just going by what I see. And like I said, I don't think Savannah Marshall has anything for Clareesa Shields. It doesn't make a difference. People go, oh, I think it'll be a close fight. You can think what you want to think. What you think is not going to change what I think. I just don't see her doing anything with Clareesa Shields. And trust me, her lack of opponents, like you guys that keep saying Clareesa's not beating anybody, she's not fighting anybody. She's fighting, okay, the best female fighters that's willing to step up to fight her. And to be honest with you, the majority of the females that's running their mouths about Clareesa Shields is really in other weight classes that's too small. The ones that she can get down to, you know, 54 or 60 and fight, she beat them. But everybody else, even like with Hannah Gabriel, people were saying that, oh, she's going to beat Clareesa. Oh, she's too skilled. She's this, she's that. When they got in the ring, you realize that wasn't the case at all. And when she lost, you want to know that everybody started saying, oh, she was really too small for Clareesa. Oh, you know what, though? I think she really won the bullshit. There's no way in fuck that Hannah Gabriel won that fight. She fought. She came to fight. She did the best that she could. There's no way in hell. If you know just one bit of shit about boxing, there's no way. You take your bias and your hatred away. There's no way Hannah Gabriel won that fight. Hands down. No bullshit. There's no way she won that fight. But the excuses will always pour in, and I'm not into that. Excuses are for losers, okay? People who have to sit up and make excuses about why something happened, to me, that's like, you can't even be honest with yourself. So I don't take anything you say serious. At the end of the day, I'm all about mano a mano. Let's go. Put up or shut up. So Eddie Hearn like making fights happen. All Claressa Shields is saying is, get the money right. Don't try to talk to me to tell me how good Savannah Marshall is. Like she deserves more than what she's going to get, or you're gonna try to shortchange me. She just want the money to be right. But she's saying, let's make the fight happen. That's all. He's like, I love Claressa Shields. She's like, well, if you love me, pay me, right? I agree. You can't sit here and tell me that look, they're making a big deal out the fight because Savannah Marshall won. Like I said, against a fighter who hasn't fought in damn near 2 years, but she won the fight. And at the end of the day, like I said, they can big her up all they want. But just because Eddie Hearn is saying this shit, don't change what's going to happen in the ring. You understand what I'm saying? We know that, hey, there's been a lot of fighters that Eddie Hearn has spoken highly about, put them in the ring, they got destroyed by Canelo or other fighters, they fight and get their ass kicked, but the point is he's getting them in these big fights. And I feel like Savannah Marshall will be no different. And I know the first thing they're going to start saying is they're going to make excuses about, oh, but you know what? In the Olympics what happened or what? Listen, who cares? Who cares? Like I always tell people, look at what happened with Henry Tillman versus Mike Tyson in the Olympics. But when they got to the pros, what happened? What's the big dude, the big Latino guy, Gonzalez? What was his name? The guy that had the little hair in the middle that went down the ponytail, beat Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis in the amateurs. What happens as a pro though? So all that amateur shit, Aaron Pryor beat Thomas Hearns in the amateurs. Compare their professional careers. Nobody talks about Aaron Pryor. When they do talk about him, the most that you hear them talk about is like how him and Ray Leonard never fought. And there's a lot of things to be said. But the reality is, if you're just making conversation just to express your personal views because you hate a person or you dislike a person, it means nothing. I want to see the fight. And to be honest with you, like I always say, man, the best fighter win. In all honesty, this fight with Clareesa, if she does fight Savannah Marshall, I have nothing against Savannah Marshall. I don't know these people personally to like them personally or dislike them. I like them as fighters. Okay? But at the end of the day, the reason why I'm looking forward to this fight is just so she can, again, piss people off. And then the next move that she make, to fight the next person, because she wants to fight at 168. She's like, that's the big, I forget the person's name that she said. But at the end of the day, listen, y'all. This is a no-hate zone for me. Like I said, I don't ever come on here to tell you I hate this person, this, that. Oh, no. If you can beat a person fair and square, then you earned it. What's to hate? The most that you can say is I was wrong about my opinion. That's it. As a grown man, as a grown woman, as somebody that's real, you take ownership of it. I'm not concerned about people saying, oh, but you said, it doesn't matter. Again, I'm putting money on this fight. That Savannah Marshall not just lose, but gets her ass kicked. She has nothing for Claressa Shields, man. This is not a Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce situation. Because we know what both of them can do. We wasn't sure about Daniel. We thought Daniel, because we saw his explosiveness and all, and the way he spoke, but we still knew that he was green. Joe Joyce, on the other hand, just showed an iron chin, crazy stamina, and will and grit like nah, and stayed behind that jab. Savannah, there's not a mystery about what she can do. We see what she can do. And that's where I'm saying I wouldn't bet money on Joe Joyce versus Dubois. You understand what I'm saying? When I watch her, I don't see anything that makes me go, yo, her and Clareesa would be a good fight. I watch Savannah and go, she's not ready yet. She's just not good enough. Hopefully we get to see. Anyway, salute to her on her victory. And it's not to take anything away from a person, but like I said, when you break down everything, you know, if I went out here right now, okay, and I just started asking questions about different fighters and who you think could beat who this, not because of a lack of popularity, okay, but let me tell you something. Hannah Gabriel's name is still, you know, we haven't seen much of her lately, but her name comes up. Clareesa Shields' name comes up. You know, there's a couple of other fighters. But Savannah Marshall, example, we were in the gym the other day. And when we was talking about this is where I was watching the video in the gym. Nobody in the gym thinks Savannah Marshall can beat Clareesa Shields. Now, it's not about what we think, it's about what's going to actually happen. But what we think is affected by what we see. Okay? This is not about, I don't like Savannah. Look, let's make the fight happen. Simple. At the end of the day, okay? At the end of the day, when the fight goes down, okay, whoever loses, I'm man enough to say, hey, Savannah Marshall did it. But I'm 110% confident, okay? It doesn't matter who I want to win. And I'm not even saying it's based on who I want to win. I'm saying it's based on what I see, okay? So, understand, I see two different levels between the two of them. And there's a big gap in those levels that I see. And I think Clareesa Shields will dissect her, break her down, and beat her. And I believe, just like Clareesa Shields said, she's going to be trying to hold on, trying to survive, just like the rest of them. They all talk that shit. They look confident. They come, you know, they talk a whole lot. And once they get in the ring, they realize Clareesa Shields is really that good. Hopefully we get to see. Anyway, look, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.